Hey YouTube, Rando here. Today we're going to be making some homemade charcoal. Now I'm doing this to make forge coal, or blacksmith coal, whatever you want to call it. Really it's just charwood. So it don't matter what kind of wood I use. I do suggest if you're going to cook with it, you use some kind of cooking wood like mesquite, hickory, oak, pecan, fruit wood, things you wouldn't mind eating on, just cooking on wood. So we're going to make some homemade charcoal. You decide which wood you want to use. I'm going to show you my way of doing it. It's real easy. Simple process. All you really need is some screen. Maybe like off your house or an old screen you have in the garage or something. You don't have to have a burned can or nothing like that. You can actually do it in a hole in the ground. You can do it in an old barbecue pit. You can do it in a burn pit, whatever. So we're going to start the process. We're going to go ahead and get this fire started, and we'll be back. Alright, so me and the boy got a nice little fire going here. I got my little helper with me today. So we're just going to get this to be a roaring fire. Careful.
Okay.
Drop it in back. There you go. So we're going to get this going and get a nice roaring fire down there, and we're going to throw a bunch of wood on it and let that take off and get nice and black, and then we'll show you the next step. So next time we come back, this should be burned down, should be new wood on top, and we're just using fence wood for this all the way through. I'm not using any logs or anything, so I'm going to show you a cheap way to do it. Repurpose that fence wood, that old fence you tear down, for something else. So we'll get this done and we'll be right back. Alright, so once you get your initial fire about down to right there, you want to take a decent sized stack of wood, nothing too much, about like that. And we're going to lay that on top of it and let it catch. And then I'll show you about where it needs to be when we do our next step. Okay, so that second pile's burned down quite a bit now, you can see. Now I'm going to show you the next step, and this is the part, you don't want to do this in a brand new barbecue pit for sure. I'm doing it in a hobo stove, and this hobo stove will probably only last me about 4 or 5 months doing this. So, walk over here. Take your water hose, and you want to stand back when you're doing it. This is going to let off a lot of steam. And you just want to flood that thing with water. And what that's going to do is that's going to break up all that black stuff. That's charcoal, charwood. It'll break it up into little pieces. Make sure everything's doused with water really well. Make sure it's not hot anymore. And if you're doing this in a burn pit, you do it the same way, you know. Any way you're going to do it, you're just going to douse it with water. It don't have to be from a water hose. You can do it with pails of water or whatever. You can see what I'm left with. There's some bigger pieces and then a bunch of little bitty pieces of charwood. It's already broke up. You don't really have to break it up. You can just take a stick and stick it in there and break up that big stuff. Fill the water hose. Now that it's not smoking anymore, I'll go ahead and just let that cool off and come back in 24 hours. And then what we'll do is take all those pieces and put it on this screen, and rinse it off. Get all the ash off. Look for any nails, anything like that. If you're using fence wood, you don't want clinkers in your barbecue pit or whatever you're going to be using it for. Especially a blacksmith coal. So you're just going to take a screen and set it on there. After 24 hours, make sure it's cool. Break up all the large chunks with a stick. And then just set it on there and rinse it. Now you can see this needs to be dried a little more. You do want to let it dry before you bag it. This I'll just open up and put under a lamp or something. This is what you end up with. Nice little pieces of charwood that'll burn really hot. And if you're looking for heat plus burn time, like if you're going to be cooking with it, the best thing you can use is oak. White oak is actually one of your best oaks to cook with, from what I understand. I don't cook with oak, but I usually use mesquite myself. But you can see that's a nice little piece of charwood that would burn for quite a while. It's brittle, burnt all the way through. That's one thing you want to make sure is all your wood's caught fire really well. So there's no natural wood left. All the chemicals are burned out of it and everything. This was treated wood, so again, I'm just using it in a forge, so it don't really matter. But this is your end game here. This is what you're looking for. Nice, shiny pieces of charwood, and it's free. So, you know, and next time you have a buddy that's cutting trees out on his property, go out there and ask him if you can have a couple logs, split them up, and you can do the same process with that. And like I said, you can see all the moisture in this bag. I really needed to let it dry a little more before I bagged it. But I'm just going to open it up and throw it in the sun or throw it under a lamp and let all that water evaporate out. That's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching, YouTube.